Hey guys, Colby here. Welcome back to another video. Guess what? It's happening this weekend. Yeah, 15x's, lots of 15x's, and for some insane champions. And I'm not talking about the legendaries, I'm talking about the epics. The epics is what you guys should be looking out for, especially the players out there who are still struggling to get through the mid game into the late game category, right? The end game is far out of reach for many people still looking for epics. So have that in mind. What do I mean by that, guys? Well, we'll have a look at the 15x's, but let me just tell you, the introduction of the 15x allows us now to pick up on epics much easier than before. I'm not talking about the legendaries, the epics. And now with the introduction of the empowerment system for the epics, it makes even more sense to go for these epics because you can make them stronger, make them faster, which equals to getting specific setups running much easier, but also, you know, stronger will count more so for not the supports, but more so for the nuking epics, because you want them to get higher attack if they're attack based, higher defense if they're defensive based, and then you want them also to have high crit damage, speed, and the extra crit rate that you get when you have the full empowerment bonus of the +4, right? You get that extra 5% crit rate, which gets you there to the 100% that you need quicker, which is amazing. The extra 10 speed is good. The extra accuracy is also good. So let's have the a look at the announcement, guys, and I'll tell you which one I'll be going for through the next 3 days. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday is when the events are coming. So let's pop this out on the screen. And we start out with Friday, right? Have a look at that. Friday, May 17th, with progressive chance 15x. This goes to 20, 25, all right, as the maximum. In terms of legendaries, we get Clay God, the Meltwater, Sun Wukong, Razzlevarg, Mortu Macab, Kaja the Rai, and then for Voids, Cardiel, Volcanon, and then for epics, Lockwayne, Deacon Armstrong, Doom Priest, Akemtem, Genbo the Dishonored. So let's have a look at the legendaries first. Claycat, the Meltwater, is a brand new legendary. He has his uses. I will not say he's amazing. He's overpowered, not that great. And if you're looking for any of these legendaries, I hope you get it. It's honestly, the chances are very low. It's not as bad as we had the 10x's, but it's close. And the chances for you to get something is quite low. We'll be probably popping out our sacreds for this summoning event. So if you have some sacreds saved up, you'll need about 10 sacreds to pick up the epic if you're still going for the epic needed for the fusion for Wixwell. So have that in mind. Glaycat, the Meltwater, is honestly a good one. Sun Wukong is probably what I'm going for personally for myself. And then for the epics, that is where the things become much interesting. Razzlevarg is also great, by the way. And then Kaja the Rai is okay, but I'm not interested in her. So the epics. Look at that. Deacon Armstrong and Doom Priest are the MVPs here for this one. So Deacon Armstrong, why is Deacon Armstrong so good? Let me just tell you guys that this champion right here allows for a very solid team to work for the clan boss. Okay, he's not only great for pushing dungeons because of his defense down, he decreases turn meter, he increases turn meter for your own team, he has a turn meter lead, he has a leech debuff, a decreased defense. Fantastic champion. But he allows, with all of this kit, allows for a very solid setup with Ares, Demitha, Deacon Armstrong, and a Seeker. You can get a really solid team with low speeds, considering all the other champions' speeds, and you can get that going and pretty much do a 2-key minimum even with the worst gear possible. So very strong champion. I'll be going for this one in terms of the epic selection, and I'll probably be pulling on Friday just because I might want to go for an extra copy of Wukong in case it comes out of the shard, or if I do get the Wukong, I'll try to go for Glaycat. Actually, I'll go for Glaycat because he's a non-dupe, and then Wukong. I don't really worry so much about it. In terms of Voids, I will not be pulling any Voids. Voids do help in terms of getting points. For this one's 120 points per Void. But the Genbo Dishonored is one that you can potentially go for multiple copies of, guys. Just because you can get that possible +4 on him. And he really shines with very low gear. Genbo is insane. If you think about, if you get a +4 on Genbo, guys, Shadowkin, damage dealer that can actually ignore unkillable, so even hurts Leorius with him because he decreases the duration of all buffs. Pretty solid. So he boosts himself up with increased crit rate and increased crit damage buff. So he just needs 70%. So with a +4, he'll need 65% chance. Very low requirements for a damage dealer. Very low requirements. He'll always start out with this one and then go for the A2. Very, very strong. He's immune to decreased attack. That can be very helpful. And I mean, what else can I say? Gembo is the way to go if you're looking for an epic that is a damage dealer and you get lucky or unlucky with that. What I will say though is, please consider, before you go all out on Friday, please consider the other days that I'm going to mention now in terms of the legendaries and the epics that are available. I don't think you should make your choice only on one day. Just have a look at all 3 days before you go ahead and pull your shards, because one of the other days also has a some champions that are very key for specific setups. So Doom Priest can also work very well for some specific setups or for the clan boss. And I will say, an account without a Doom Priest is not an end game account. It's not a late game account, because you need one for just cleansing through specific setups. Hydra, she works in there as well. It just makes things much easier. Next one up is Saturday, May 18th. We have Giath, Kayoku, Blizzard, Korogar, Sneak Track, and then we have Krisk and Necrid. Amazing champions overall. Giath is okay. I did find some use for her, but not out of the ordinary. Personally, none of these really strike me as endgame champions, unless you consider the Voids, which are very hard to get. It's Void champion. You don't have the 2x chances. You're just pulling blind until you get them, and if you get them. So Necrid the Great, Krisk the Ageless, both are nice, but I would say Necrid is much better in terms of PvP usage. Krisk better for PvE usage. Then we have a look at the epics, guys. Look at that. Toragi the Frog, Sandlash Survivor. Let me see if I can zoom it out. No, it actually goes over my head. But Toragi the Frog, Sandlash Survivor, Skull Crusher, Andrizia, White Dryad Nia. White Dryad Nia could possibly be argued that you can use her for stuff like the Hydra, the specific setups with double Dryad Nia and Trunda. You can definitely do that if you don't have the double Yumiko. But remember, guys, again, there's better Void epics out there that can be useful for you if you are at a place where you still need Void epics to complete your clan boss team. So she is basically a want. Okay, she's not a need. You don't need her for anything in the game. She's a want. If you want to make a really strong team, you have the Trunda setup going. Double Dryad Nia is a team that works. So have that in mind. And that is basically it in terms of this one. The Skull Crusher is nice, but although he's an OG, works very well for the clan boss. He has been so much left behind in terms of how useful he is compared to all the other champions we have currently going on. And he has fallen off, basically, is what I was looking for the word. Andrizia is nice for PvP setups, but not that crazy. I wouldn't go that crazy for her. Tragi can also work very well in terms of him just being a very strong epic. But that is it basically for Saturday. I think this is the weakest of the days for the summons. And finally coming in Sunday, this is the important thing. The Mytha on the epics, guys, on Sunday. If you want the Mytha, if you want to make a cool clan boss team, please go for Sunday. The Mytha, there's double Demetha teams out there that can work double Demethas with Painkeeper. So if you have like 20 Voids, I would personally do, if I had like 10, 20 Voids, I would personally try it. Try my luck. Get that 8% chance to get an epic and try and get the Mytha. In terms of the other epics, they're okay. They are needed for Mikage. So Eofrig, Dilaja, and Wyrenon, I believe, are all needed for Mikage. So that's that. And then for the legendaries, Elva, Balcazar, Oela, Noct, Lady of Ireth, and then we have Senna, Amberheard, and Tuhanarag. Tuhanarag is great for the Hydra. Senna, I think, is the brand new one that we just recently had added to the game. There she is. She's a dwarf. For some reason, I didn't think she was going to be a dwarf. It looks pretty cool. But her kit, increased speed, continuous heal, that's fine. It's her passive that makes things interesting. Continuous heal buff activates an ally, heals the turn meters of all allies by 5%. At the end of the champion's turn, increases the duration of all continuous heal buffs on a random ally except the champion by 1 turn. This is what makes her special. So revives all dead allies with 50% health, 50% turn meter, then teams up with all allies revived by their skill to attack the enemy with the lowest health. The allies joining the attack will use their default skills. So she's basically an ally attacking champion without the ally attack. She's basically only doing that through the revive of the dead allies. Okay, so it's very conditional. You can use her on Fire Knight if you feel like it, but it's very conditional, as I said. Very conditional on her basically surviving the Fire Knight first, and then to make a team that works, everybody has to die from the initial big Fire Knight hit. So it's a different comp than what we're used to. And then she can actually activate continuous heal buffs on an ally, and that activation basically will also boost their turn meter by 5%. So you can have that as a way, but for a Void legendary, I think her kit is way less than it could. Way less. I think she's missing something. She's missing something in terms of maybe more activations for continuous heal, because this is a 50% chance. If this was more of a guaranteed chance to activate it, maybe I would have thought this otherwise in terms of her being up for grabs from the 15x. I would rather have Tuhanaric than her, if I'm being honest. And then from the other ones, they all have their uses. I would say Elva is fantastic for many areas of the game. Oela, very strong too, with the increased resistance, the extension of buffs and heals that she provides. Balcazar is an OG, but has niche uses at this point. And then Noct the Paralyzer, Lady of Earth, I wouldn't really go crazy. The biggest prize for this one is the epic Demitha. All right, get two Demithas and you can easily make a clown boss team. It's not going to be a 1 key, but it's going to be a clown boss team. And as I said, I'm pulling on Friday in terms of the Sacred's. Probably going to go for Wukong or Gladecat. I'll have to think about it. I haven't checked Gladecat yet, but I'll go for it and see how that works out. So this was the video, guys. Thank you all for watching. How do you do usually with these types of events? Are you going for Wixwell? I've read some comments that players are not really going for Wixwell this time around. Some videos have been out showcasing his real power in like clown boss teams with extension of the buffs and shields. I still don't see the real reason for those kind of teams just yet. Because, well, for clown boss, in my opinion, you build a team that does the 71 million and Ultra Nightmare and you call it a day. Then you focus on the other 15 areas of the game that we have to do in order to progress, right? So have that in mind. This was the video, guys. Thank you all for watching. Subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. See ya.